So it's this time of year again when people come down with the snuffles. So we're getting a lot of people coming into the clinic with coughs and colds and generally feeling under the weather. So here's some top tips of what you can be doing to help your immune system. So it's normal to get a cold. A cold is actually a way that your body gently detoxifies. The mucous membranes become nice and thick. You'll notice that there's more mucus production, and you will find that you're perhaps coughing because of it. But this mucus actually attaches to viruses, bacteria, and it helps to transport that out of the body. So mucus can either cause quite loose stools or it may cause constipation. But either way, keeping the bowels moving is imperative when there's a bad stuffed up cold, when you feel like you can't breathe. It sounds strange that I'm talking about the bowel when you feel like your nose is all blocked. But the one mucous membrane that runs throughout the body gets affected no matter where it is. So we keep the bowel moving firstly when there's a cold, and we do that through, a couple of things. Number one, things like flax seeds. So you can soak a tablespoon of flax seeds in water overnight and then down the whole thing in the morning. So that provides bulk for the bowel wall to press against. And the other thing is supporting the mucous membranes of the bowel with beta-carotene rich foods. So these are the orange coloured ones. So sweet potato, carrot, butternut squash, and even pure vitamin A from things like liver and egg yolks. So that mucous membrane then has the right nutrients in order to work effectively. The bowel is kept moving. That's important. So we can use the seeds for that. But now we might need to look at toning the mucous membranes because they're all kind of snotty and mucousy, and it can be getting stuck on the chest. You'll find that the chest can feel heavy. You might struggle to breathe. So things that you can do here are warming the body. So we can warm the body internally, and what that does is it thins the mucus. So think of your warming spices. Think of things like ginger and turmeric, cumin. You might even use a little bit of heat from something like cayenne pepper. But what the warming spices do is they gently raise the internal body temperature. Now, another way of achieving that, which might not feel great if you're poorly, but it's through using cold baths. So if you're not actually getting rid of a cold and it's all quite stuck, if you do a cold plunge, it will drive the internal temperature up, and actually that will help to clear colds and things. So some of the most ancient naturopaths, so back in like the 1400s, what they were doing is using ice cold packs. There's a famous naturopath, I think in the 1800s, and what he did was use ice cold packs just on the back of the neck, and he would alternate the ice cold with warmth, and actually he was literally curing, as it were, tuberculosis, which was revolutionary at the time. Other things that he was suggesting were good old-fashioned sunlight. The body needs vitamin D. It's a bit like how the mucous membranes need the beta-carotene from the orange foods. It also needs vitamin D, and that's what we get on our skin in the presence of sunlight. So beta-carotene, along with vitamin A, D, E, and K, these are all fat-soluble vitamins. The mucous membranes need these in order to be able to be properly toned so that they don't just keep secreting mucus and making you feel chesty. So the cold packs and driving the internal temperature up by 1 degree can actually help to kill off viruses and particularly bacteria sensitive to heat. Other things that you can do is to ramp up your probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria, and we can get those from sauerkraut, kombucha, kefir, and even live yogurt. We want to kind of avoid too much dairy at this stage because it is naturally mucus forming. So perhaps concentrate more on sauerkraut or even kimchi. So these naturally fermented foods are wonderful for that beneficial bacteria in the gut. We all know that vitamin C is required at this time of year, but to find out how much you actually need, requires a little experiment. So you can use ascorbic acid, or you can use magnesium ascorbate, which means that the vitamin C has been bound with magnesium. And you start with a teaspoon. So they usually come with a scoop, if not a teaspoon. And you actually have that teaspoon in water every 15 minutes. Now what ascorbic acid does is it is slightly irritating. So through osmosis, it draws water into the colon and it sluices the colon out. Remember, we want to keep that bowel moving. You keep doing the teaspoon every 15 minutes until you get diarrhea. So however many teaspoons that is, the following day, you reduce it by 1 teaspoon, and then you take that vitamin C dose, but spread out throughout the day. So if 6 teaspoons finally gave you diarrhea, the next day you'd be taking 1 teaspoon 5 times a day. And what eventually happens is you get to the point where your stools are a little loose again, and so you knock it down to 4 teaspoons and you're weaning yourself off. But that's how you find out how much vitamin C you need. And some people have, 10, 12 grams even. It can take a lot. But other beneficial nutrients is the mineral zinc. And zinc can be found in seafood, in pumpkin seeds. So if you're doing your flax seeds, you may as well grind some pumpkin seeds and have those at the same time. You can always just put these over porridge, for example, or over roasted vegetables, salad, whatever it is that you're eating, into soup, stir them in. And they're a wonderful source of zinc, which is supportive to the immune system. So how do you know if your immune system needs some support? If you're not mucousy, you're not chesty and generally feeling okay, look at your nails. So the nails are a good sign if the immune system is trying to fight something, because often something's there in the background, but it's not quite coming out. And here we're looking for little white bands across the top of the nails. So just under where your normal white part of the nail would be, it's quite pale. It's not on the nail, it's under. So it's a white band called a Mees line, M-E-E, me line. And it's showing that the immune system is really trying to fight something at the moment. So we can put these things into place to help to support it. We've just made up a lovely herbal tincture that we've termed snuffles. And what's nice about this is the herbs taste great. They can stimulate and boost the immune system. They help to warm the body by a degree or so. The elderflower is known as diaphoretic, so it makes you sweat, basically. So basically you're sweating it out. We've got schizandra berry in there, which tastes great, but it's a good immune stimulant. We've got plantain, marshmallow and licorice, which are really nice and demulcent, so good if you've got an irritating cough. And there's elderberry, which is really rich in vitamin C. So our snuffles tincture, we do a little small 150 ml. It's suitable for all ages, but children will love it as well. You can pop that into water, you can put it into juice, however you wish to take it, but it's great at this time of year if you need it. And then other thoughts are nourishing the body with bone broth and enriching soups. They say chicken soup for the soul, which is true. You boil up your chicken bones, and the nutrients that are extracted from there are really immune supportive. They're wonderful. So that's everything, I think, for the immune system. So keep well this winter. Hopefully I've armed you with some tips, and if you need us, you know where we are.